We'll do this in two. Can I get a motion to approve the July 6, 2020 minutes?
Motion, Brian.
Second?
Jack Lowe.
Jack, you seconded, Jack?
Correct.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Can I get an action item to approve the minutes of the August 19th, 2020 meeting?
Move it, Brian.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Paul, you want to jump on this change order and explain it to everybody?
So what we're talking about here is a change order for the construction contract that's associated with the 1917 building foundation. That contract was written under the Z-182 ESD grant, which is a 100% reimbursable grant. So what we'd like to do with this change order is take care of a few items that that are out there that we wanted to button up this year, and because of the situation, we really couldn't get a bid out there. So we want to do this as a change order to Tioga's contract. There are 4 items. The first item is a repair of floor beams that once we raised the 1917 building, there was a bunch of floor beams that were decayed, moved, not full length, not attached correctly, etc. Those need to be fixed. We have a plan to fix them with steel components. That work is on the order of $30,000 to $40,000. We're working on that. We're also would like to bring and stockpile up to. We're looking at 8,000 cubic yards of soil up on top of the of DSA 1. Tioga's actually brought some soil there already from a site at Pumpkin Patch site along 5S, but the rest of the soil is going to be clean certified coming from Light's Pit. Those two together are probably going to be on the order of $160,000 of trucking and stockpiling, and the stockpiling is going to surcharge our soft area that's up there, soft soils area. And then lastly, we want to take down the Arctic Ice building with Tioga. I think it's in this case, we want to look to Tioga to do it. Dave Short took down the other building along the street that we're building. But, you know, we're getting into plowing season, and Dave really couldn't do the foundations on the other building. This has some more beefier foundations and footings and slabs. So we think timing wise and everything else, we'd rather have Tioga do that. You know, that's going to be on the order of 100, 130,000, something like that. We think we're still getting the final cost. So what we want to do is, if I can get an authorization to write a change order for up to $300,000, and then we'll continue to work with Tioga to, you know, fine tune the cost, and then I'll have an exact amount. But I need a board resolution because the amount is going to go over what we have in contingency. So that's basically what it is a board resolution to authorize the engineer to write a change order up to $300,000. I think there's 600, just so everybody knows, there's $600,000 left in the grant, 100% approved ESD grant, 100% reimbursable. And we're also working with the bank on the financing. We will not get ahead of the private financing. We're working a lockstep with NBT. So before we authorize Tioga to do anything, we'll make sure that NBT is comfortable with the schedule and the progression of work so that we can pay the contractor. We might have to time some of the work so that we wait for a reimbursement. Maybe we'll do the demo a little bit later in the season or whatever, but we'll be making sure that we don't get ahead of that dollar amount, and we're working with the bank. So again, a resolution for authorizing the engineer to write a change order up to $300,000 against the 1917 building foundation contract.
When, Jack, do you think you'll have that building down? This before the snow flies, or don't you know? Or
I
Paul,
think
I'm sorry.
they're ready to bring it down, in the next couple of weeks. I think the only thing is we have to, right now, in the first line of credit, Vin, there's $150,000 left. So Mary Ann said that she'd be willing to look at extending that line of credit, adding some dollars if you wanted to. We can have that discussion, or we could go to Tioga and say, hey, we're working on a reimbursement request right now. That payment might be delayed, might be out 60 days instead of 30 days or something, and see if, one way or the other, if we can work that out, they're going to be right out there within a couple of weeks to do it.
Okay. All right.
Paul, can you just confirm which work order this is against? It's the,
What-
1917 demolition.
It's
it's
the,
the ZB,
it's the
Z182.
Z182, Empire State Department grant Z182,
Okay.
which marries up with the Tioga contract associated for the 1917 building.
got it.
Yep.
Okay. Anybody got any questions on Paul's request? If not, can I get a motion to approve?
Councilman Beatrice approves.
Okay, a second?
Did you get that?
Yep.
Yes.
Thanks. So,
Thank you.
I'm sorry, did anybody second that?
Brian did.
Okay.
She likes.
All right, all in favor?
I wasn't got $30,000 and I got.
Opposed? So moved. All right, now you're up, Bob. Canal Corp.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. So earlier this month,
I can't.
we received comments from Canal Corp Council on the most recent purchase sale agreement. And Canal Corp has asked to move the date of their departure of the facility from the proposed date of August 2021 to November 2021, because the responses Canal Corp received for the design build of its replacement facility have come in. They don't want to have to move twice, is their point. So if they can stay where they are through November 2021, then they can just move once, and when their new facilities come online. So that was really their only but for that date. And as you guys know, that date's been pushed back, time after time after time. I don't know if I can definitively say this is the last time they'll ask. This is the farthest they'll go, but they're asking to change the occupancy from August 2021 to November 2021.
You gonna pay us rent on it while they're there?
That's a question.
Hey, quick question. Are they gonna pay us rent for the additional time they're gonna stay there?
Well, I think we joked before that we could make this a nice little profit center for the Canal Corp. We haven't asked, so I think the answer is no.
Maybe it'll make up for that $30,000 that's knocked down a 700 square foot building. Which is absolutely ridiculous.
Where are we, Lisa and Paul, where are we with Mohawk Valley Gardens on that part of the project?
Well, I think they've been delayed too with everything going on. They did reach out to us because they were looking at, I forget what the CARES Act, about trying to get $3 million infused to that site. And so they were asking about, if they can get access before they got ownership and stuff. And they wanted to talk to us, but I haven't heard since then. I think they would be okay with so that would be, I think they'd be okay with this being pushed off a few months because, everything's a little bit behind with the COVID and everything. I don't think that would bother them. I mean, I don't think we've asked that question directly.
No, but they have a lot of design work to do as well. And, we got the appraisals back about a month ago from Brian, so we need to start to work on subdividing the property. So there's enough stuff pre-work to do with them that wouldn't impact them. Likewise, we've begun, and we want to share at the November meeting. This is October, right? Yeah, the November meeting. we started the design work around the promenade, which actually includes some design work with Rob's project. So we'll work with him on that too. So there's enough design, architectural work, things that needs to be done by him that we don't think it'll be a problem. We'll confirm it with him, but I don't think it'll be a problem.
And Bob, are we gonna have access to the building for architects and engineers and so on?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm wondering if we put a penalty if they go after November, do you think we ought to push back on that, Bob?
Good idea.
Yeah,
For-
right. If we don't ask, we'll never know.
Right.
We could put in, a daily per diem or something.
Yeah, just to encourage that date stick.
Okay. Why don't we,
Can't we put that in from the date? Can't we put that in from the date that the original date for, not the extended date we want to give them? Wouldn't that move them along a little quicker?
Yeah,
right.
good
These are all-
idea.
these are all business decisions, right? So yes, we could say, look, if you want to push that back, it's going to cost you.
Right. I mean, if not, they're going to keep playing this. I can see.
Right, I agree.
Thank you.
Are you pushing back from March or November?
For March.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
We'll ask for March and demand November if they push back on us,
Yeah, it was originally March, then it went to August. Sorry.
It's costing us
November.
money. It's costing us money.
Right.
What would you want the per diem, our monthly rent? What would you guys think?
I don't know, what's it gonna be costing us, Jack, a month to be carrying that project, We have some debt service out there and things like that we have to pay for.
Insurance.
Yeah, Jack can figure that out and then we can get it to you.
Yeah, if you guys wanna figure the number and get it to Bob, that'd be great.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, is subdividing that property going to be a problem if? Oh, no, sorry, we'll own it. Never mind. Gotcha.
You need a motion on that, Bob?
No, why don't we just have the minutes reflect that the board, we already resolved to,
Okay.
do a purchase sale agreement subject to terms and conditions that the board, that are evidenced by your signature, Vin. So why don't we just have the minutes reflect the board desires to agree to allow the occupancy date to be pushed back to November 2021, subject to Canal Corp making, a lease payment back to November, and then Bob to report back to the board or report back to Vin.
Okay.
So it was making a lease payment for the March to November time, as well as access to engineers and architects.
Yeah, we'll ask for that, right? Well, and they might blow up the whole thing, or maybe we'd negotiate to August. But I won't make any business decisions. I'll report back to Vin, and I think the point is we want some sort of remuneration for the times that we can't get in there. So if they balk at March and accept August, right, Vin's empowered to make that decision on his own.
Okay. All right, thanks, Bob. National Grid, I saw your email, Lisa, yesterday, so.
Yeah, yep. So National Grid actually reached out to us. And Paul and I were on a call with them a couple of days ago. And we got an update, sort of an update. We're going to schedule a bi-monthly meeting with them. Brian, we'd like you to join in on that call too. And it's, so the substation is moving forward. They got all their floodplain permits. They're getting us the footprint. We believe it's still over by the river where we wanted it to be. We then also asked about the dredging in Mohawk River, because then they're going to put the dredge spoils in the Mohawk Valley oil site, the triangle piece of property, something we haven't talked about in a couple of years. They still don't have their permits in place for that yet, but we're going to get an update from their environmental guy on our next call. And then on that 789 parcel transfer, they had it out there. They didn't get any interest in it. But Mike Donegan, who is going to retire but with the COVID situation, asked that we get in contact with them. So Bob, you and Melanie, I was gonna, for the name to try to get the 7, 8, and 9, to look at the lease for parcel 7, 8, and 9, which is that mounded area, is to move forward with that, which is something that I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, we wanted to be doing. Sounds like they're kind of ready to talk about that now. So, you know, sort of things are sort of moving forward with them, which is good because we're going to probably start turning our attention to that side of the harbor in the coming months.
Now, they said that they had it out for lease, but they had no interest, Lisa, is that true?
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Good. Mohawk Valley Garden, do we need any more on that?
I think we just need to have a meeting with them now that,
The appraisal's in.
now that Alon's done that, and it's a fantastic conceptual sketch for the marina build out. A really nice job. And now that we have that, I think we would share that with the board next month and then have a meeting with MVG. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else on that?
No, I'll just quickly, as far as the other property in the RFP, the DSA one, just an update. I mean, Brian got the appraisal done. Forgot what the number was. What was the number, Brian?
Hang on.
Okay.
I think it was $1.5 million, wasn't it?
$1.5 million.
$1.5 million.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. 1.86.
1.86. Okay. Yeah, I was a little surprised it was under 2, but that'd be whatever. So, so the appraisal's done. We did do all the property. We did all the boundary work. So we would be ready for subdivision. The thing that, DSA 1 is waiting on, not only to do the, final filling and grading and creating the final stormwater pond, but it's also, if everybody remembers, we're waiting on the Corps of Engineers to issue the wetland permits out there. And the whole wetland issue is in flux. In fact, Steve Eckler told me last week that we got a call from the Corps and they said they might not even have jurisdiction anymore over these wetlands at this site at some point. And so we might not even need a permit at some point. So everything's in flux there, but bottom line right now, we're waiting for that situation to get clarified. We can't fill those, wetland areas until it's done. So all we're doing is stockpiling soil. And then in the spring, wetland permit will be in hand or be waived. And then we'll fill those other areas and create the final stormwater pond. Until such time, we really can't, look at that developer for, DSA 1 until, those are the next pieces before the land becomes available to sell. So, that's just a reminder there. On the, you want me to get the road update?
Yep.
Then? Yeah.
Go ahead.
As far as the road work, which is the Department of State grant, which is being administered from the city because the city holds all the DOS grants. It's going very well. I think we're close to schedule. We might be a little bit behind, but right now they're going to start doing curb work within the next couple of weeks. And so we expect to start, paving in 3 weeks or so. And the way it's looking, we'll get it just done in time before the plants close. So I don't know if anybody's been down the site. All the clearing and grubbing they did and all the sub-base work, you can start to see. I mean, the site looks even nicer now with all that cleanup that's been done there. I think when that road, when you start to see that road develop, you're going to see another marked difference in the site aesthetics. So it's going well. The contractor's been good. All the utilities are in and they're working on the road work portion. And so far we're pleased with the progress.
Great. Thanks, Paul.
Yep.
Vision? Is that you, Bob?
Yep. So we did close with the city, right? So the city took title to Patel property and then conveyed that property to the Harbor Point Development Corporation. And we have it in escrow, the ultimate sale of the new parcel that we're going to have to create back to Visions. And of course, we can't complete that conveyance until we place the fill on the property. So we're probably about a year out, I think, before we can complete the total, the sum total of all the land swaps here. But the good news is we do have title to all the property we need to do this 3-party transaction. And once that fill is placed, we can then complete the final sale to Visions. And related to all of that, there's a bureaucratic step that we now need to do. We've already authorized by board resolution the purchase and sale of all these parcels. We now have to give a required 90-day notice to the New York State Authority Budget Office of our contemplated sale to Visions. Now that this actually looks like it's going to happen because we have fee title to the dirt that we'll convey to Visions. I think it's time we'll just get that bureaucratic step over with. I'll prepare a letter of Vin for your signature. It'll get posted on the Authority Budget Office webpage. It's procedural, and the 90 days just has to elapse, and thereafter we can convey the parcels to Visions.
Yeah, Bob, I'm just going to move up your schedule a little bit because we should be back out there first part of the spring in April to finish the filling.
Okay.
I will have all the material out there this season, and so it should be done in May. So I think I projected to the bank. I projected June or July or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Suit coat.
So suit coat, boy, we're all wind up and just about ready to throw the pitch here. We've got the only glitches are with title and survey, which we're going back and forth with the title company on. The folks from suit coat are pretty impatient. They don't, but one, they're getting a pretty good price for the land, and they're getting rid of those obligations. But it's not being ignored. It's really a non-substantive title issue that we're not ready to agree to close yet. No, we're almost there, and Jack has set aside the money for the purchase. So we're when Melanie and I get comfortable that that title work is done and done properly, we'll be good to go.
Bob, are you thinking like less than a month?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. New parcel? Did we cover that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else? Anybody's got? Paul, Lisa, Bob,
No,
Jack?
No, I'm good. The other thing I want to just say is for the first set of minutes, I started the recording late. And so I just want to make note that Brian first made a first motion, and Jack seconded that.
Yep.
So just for the record.
Okay.
Yes, and the meeting was called to order at 4:05.
Thank you.
Yep.
And the November meeting sounds like it's an important meeting. Lisa's going to have some presentations on designs and so on. So assuming that date works for everybody, we'll see you then, and we'll see about December, depending on what we have to do. We want to ruin everybody's Christmas season. So, all right. If nothing else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion by Brian.
I'll second.
By Jack.
Favor?
Joe Beatrice.
Everybody take care.
Who seconded that?
Thank you, everyone.
Jack seconded it.
Okay.
All right, everybody, have a good night. Take care.
Left the meeting.